What's up, man? This is your boy, Iron the Soul. I want to talk about today my experience or what I learned from 8 years of seed retention. This is a video that I uploaded some months ago, and I took it down along with my other retention videos. I got a lot of messages asking me why I did this, so I had to get on camera and give a solid explanation for that. And so messages through Instagram, direct messages through emails, text messages for a few men. And so a lot of people have been helped through those videos over the last 2 years. And I do believe that they're powerful videos for not just for myself, but for other men. And I've watched several videos, to be quite frank and honest today. I've watched a lot of videos online myself concerning this topic and learned a lot and have a lot of knowledge, both from personal experience as well as knowledge I've gained from other men. So I do believe in the principle of iron sharpening iron. Men teach men. So why did I take them down? Here's the short answer. I took them down because in my mind's eye, I don't want to be seen just as a semen retention channel. I don't want to be put into that box. I feel like I have a lot more to offer on various subjects that are relevant for men nationwide, worldwide, not just in America, not just African American, not just black and white. I think I've proven over the last 2 years that I have an appeal to all types of men, black, white. I have a lot of men over in the UK, as well as South Africa. People all over the world have been helped through my content. And so I have to be careful that I don't limit myself to one box. Okay, so that's why I did that. And to be honest, this is an honest moment here. I do not appreciate when I give content on other topics where I've studied and researched and really thought about that and presented a powerful or a meaningful half an hour talk. And there's somebody in the comment section saying I'm on day 5 of semen retention. And so I had to look at the pros and cons about this. And so I had to do some soul searching and think, okay, do I want to remove a voice I have that can help so many people because of those who may misunderstand this conversation or take it to an extreme that I'm not taking it to? And I had to say to myself, no, I don't want to do that. There are people who can be helped by this. And so there are men who this can transform their lives. And I do believe that. This can help you in your business. This will help you with your physical fitness, your education for those of you who are in school. Some of you guys I've talked to on the phone who are in medical school, lawyers, future politicians, future businessmen and entrepreneurs. So this is a very powerful conversation. And the reason being, the push or the agenda was sexuality. And I have to be careful in speaking code with this and not say so many things the wrong way. I have to really be careful how I say this, but it's in your face every day. I guess I'll say it that way and just say less. You see it all the time. And so if you're not careful, you can become obsessed with women and sexuality. And so this type of conversation, as far as I'm concerned, is a necessary topic for men today. It is an essential teaching. So that being said, I went from extreme to extreme. I had 40 or 50 videos on this topic that I took down because I didn't want to be seen just as that. And I made the statement that I won't talk about anymore. I had to confess that that was a mistake. I will talk about this, but it will not be every week. It will not be every week. I will talk about it as I feel necessary because, I do not want to be seen. And let me say this. This is not a semen retention channel. I'll discuss it from time to time as you guys need help on this and give you perspective and to give you my own personal experience. But I will talk about various topics on this platform. So with that introduction being laid, let's get into this topic. 8 years of seed retention. Yes. And people say, wow, did you really do that? How did you go 8 years? Some of you may struggle to go 8 weeks or 8 days. And I can understand that. I'm a man like you're a man. And so I understand that. I get that. There's no judgment here. I'm not here to say that I'm better than you because I did that. I don't get into all of that. But it is a practice that transformed my life. It was one of the best decisions I made in my 20s. One of the best decisions I made. And so let's talk about what I learned during that 8 years and some thoughts. And so I won't keep this video too long because listen, to talk about what I learned from 8 years of seed retention, logic says that will require several hours. And so what I may do in the future, I may upload some content on Patreon, giving some more details concerning that 8 year part of my life. If you want an in-depth as my actual thoughts and perspective on what I was thinking in that moment, I have a book I've written entitled Becoming Strong as Iron. And in my book, which you can get on my website, the description will be, or the link will be in the description. In my book, Becoming Strong as Iron, I have a few chapters where I specifically talk about what I was thinking. In other words, I had like maybe 40 or 50 pages of journal entries where I gave in depth my own personal thoughts day by day, what I was thinking from a physical perspective, mental, psychological during that time. And I think that will be of value to you. So who would that help? That will help a lot of you men. That will help some of you guys. To talk about it first of all, who are athletes. This will be helpful for you. During that time of retention, I played college basketball Division II for 4 years. I attended a Christian college where I played 4 years. And so retention was very, what's the proper word here? Helpful in my collegiate basketball career. During those 4 years of going to practice and training. You know how it is if you play basketball. Basketball, you got to be in tip-top shape. I mean, you're sprinting, you're running. You know, this is full 20-minute half college basketball. This wasn't pickup. This wasn't a game 21. We're talking full 5-on-5, 20-minute half, 2 halves college basketball. Elite. Running plays, organized, structured, going to war. Traveling. You know, we went to basketball tournaments down in Florida. I had a chance to go to Washington, D.C., compete in a tournament. We had games, of course, in Chicago, games in Michigan, a lot of games in Indiana. So we were traveling the country, competing in aggressive, full-court basketball games. And so those of you who listen to this video, who are college athletes, this will help you. I'm giving you something that's very powerful if you are serious about sports. Okay, this is a sports secret that I'm giving you right now. So treasure this. Don't take this lightly. Don't think this is a game. If you are a college athlete, you play basketball, football, wrestling, baseball, hockey, whatever, UFC, mixed martial arts, you are a boxer. I hope not leaving anybody out. If I left you out, don't take it personal. But if you are serious about sports and you're at the college level, some of you men who follow me, you may be even at the pro level. I know a few of you guys are actually pros who follow me. So this is something that will help you. You should definitely do this. If you are an athlete and you're serious about this at the college level, and especially at the pro level, or if you're trying to get to that pro level, you need to practice seed retention. You need to do this. And that doesn't mean you have to practice year round. We talked about this before in the past with David Hay, Muhammad Ali, even LeBron James a few years ago in the NBA championship run when he won a championship with the Lakers, and other pro athletes who understand the value of this discipline. And so that's something that I think you should practice if you are a pro athlete or a college athlete. This definitely helped to change me while I played college basketball. I personally believe that every man should practice semen retention 90 days at least once. If you've never done that, 12 weeks and 6 days. That's something that will transform your life. I believe if you do this, you will begin to experience the various benefits, whether it be physical, mental, or spiritual. Let's talk about those 3 briefly. The mental benefits, mental clarity. After about 15 days is when you begin to really have more mental clarity. And this is based on what's happened to your body on a physical level during this process. All the energy that it takes to create a child, when you retain that essence, this will strengthen or it will stabilize your nervous system, which will help you to be more poised and more articulate and confident when you're talking to people. You'll have stronger body language, and people will pick up on your vibe, your aura. So when you are in a room talking to people, people will be drawn to you. And so that's what I have experienced by personal experience, as well as reading the testimonials of thousands of men worldwide. In addition to that, you'll be able to, I think, obtain information or knowledge at an accelerated rate. So you'll gain knowledge a little quicker. You'll move a little faster in the context of whether it be business. A few of you guys I'll talk to on the phone. Some of you guys are in school for medical school, a lawyer. A lot of you guys are pro athletes. So any of you men, whether you are a blue collar or white collar worker, this is a discipline that will help you to process and retain the information that you need to be the best at that. Whether, again, that's a lawyer, doctor, entrepreneur, independent contractors such as a pro wrestler. A couple of guys follow me, pro wrestlers. You do that type of stuff, and that's fine. And so to do that, you need a lot of creativity and a lot of power. I think about even Bret the Hitman Hart. This is me kind of ranting now. This is my pro wrestling interest. And he said there were three things that made a pro wrestler: the look, the mic skills, and at the end of the day, could they actually wrestle? You think about someone like The Rock or Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. They had the look, they had the physique, they had the aura or the presence of someone in that world. They had the mic skills. The Rock is one of the best at that. In fact, he just even recently was doing some talking for the Super Bowl just this last weekend. And then you have the ability to wrestle. Can they actually do the job well? And I think those three things really kind of translate to other parts of life too. You think about it. That's any career. You got to look the part. If you are in that hip hop world, you got to look the part. You got to look like you are a rapper. If you are in the business world, you have to look a certain way. If you are someone who is a barber, there's a culture there too, whatever it may be. So you have to have the look for whatever you're trying to do. You have to have the skills, because at the end of the day, I don't care how you look, can you actually do what you say you can do, right? And you have to have that presence. And so with that being said, retention is something that will help you to excel at your profession. That's something I believe in, and that is pointed out very clearly in the chapter Sexual Transmutation in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Let me read something from my book, Becoming Strong as Iron. I talk about this in detail. Go get that book. I have a chapter in particular where I talk about my 8 years in the entire streak for more details. I believe when you retain, you will have brighter eyes, clear skin, and you will also see an increase in fat loss. A lot of men within the semen retention community refer to this new disposition as the glow. Your skin will shine and give a brightness to your face. I remember a male coworker saying, "Percy, you're shining today, man. People can tell there's something special or different about you. They will never guess it's because you are retaining your seed. Your blood circulation increases, which enhances the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the skin, consequently eliminating carbon dioxide and waste." All that being said, to say this simply, this, man. That's all that means. You will have that semen retention glow. The dark circles under your eyes will progressively reduce. Semen retention can even help improve your vision. You will need less sleep to make it through a day. Malcolm X only needed 4 hours sleep per night for many years. This is written in his autobiography. I'm not suggesting you only need 4 hours sleep, but that you will see this as an example of inspiration. You will have strong body movements and good posture. This improves your overall body language, which says a lot about you as a man. When you do this, you carry yourself like a king, and people will have to respect this trait about you. Your energy and aura are strong, and people will gravitate towards you in response. No one respects a man looking at his feet, afraid to make eye contact, and stumbling over his words. You have to respect yourself. It's simple. Semen retention gives you self-respect. I think that's pretty profound thought from my book, shameless plug, concerning this discipline. You have self-respect, and that will draw people to you. In fact, this happened to me this week. I was at the gym working out, and it was several people just started talking to me, and they feel comfortable because you have, and I'm not saying this in a pride, boastful way, and this isn't even just based on how you look. It's your spirit. People can feel that. We are created beings, You think about the spirit of a person in your spirit, your physical body. When you enter a room, people have a reaction to you. Whether that's fear, whether that's intimidation, whether that is comfort or joy. It can be a various amount of emotions people have or reactions to you. And different people will react to you differently, depending on what their motive may be too. And that's not to really, and I'm trying not to simplify something that's very complex as human nature. It's very complex. That's why you have hundreds of books in psychology. So I'm not trying to simplify that. But I will say this. People are drawn to you when you have that high vibration and that good energy and spirit in you. If you are a believer in God, and you have God's Spirit in you, which is my belief based on the New Testament scriptures, you cannot believe that and people not feel that. So if you believe God is real and he's in you as a person based on how you live in your life, when you enter into an environment, people feel that. There's a shift. Just like when you run into an evil person, right? You ever run to somebody that is evil, they have a witch spirit or a warlock spirit, which I'm going to talk about that in the future too. We're going to go deep in this channel. I'm going to go deep into various topics in terms of spirituality. If you run into a witch or a warlock, you feel that. I've run into people and I just get this vibe that there's something very dark about this person. And you can tell, right? So when you have that good energy, people are drawn to you and people will begin to talk to you and have conversations. I had a conversation related to Jim for about 15, 20 minutes, talking about religion and talking about family and all types of things just from being a decent person. And I think that's so important. And that's something you will see and experience on your journey. Self-respect. When you respect yourself, other people will tend to respect you as well. Let's talk about what happens when you release. When you release, you lower your testosterone levels. When this happens, you are not as dominant. This can also affect your confidence and make you more susceptible to depression. Retention can help with overcoming the feeling of guilt and depression that many men struggle with, and it can make you more optimistic about your future and the plans you have for your life. I think that's huge. I mean, these are concrete benefits. If you are more optimistic about your future in your finances, right? That's where, as men, we think about finances, our faith, belief systems, our relationships with women, all that will improve. We could talk about that too. Let's talk about women for a minute. Retention will create a number of reactions towards you from women. This can be like another hour in itself, so I won't dive deep into that. There's a reason why. I'll say this, there's a reason why. There are hundreds of videos online about female nature. It's very complex for us as men to understand. So I'm not going to simplify a very complex topic with retention. But I will say this, when you are retaining, women will gravitate to you. They will be able to tell. There's something called your sex pheromones, I believe is what it refers to. And they can intuitively sense that from you when you're in a room. Now, I know there's a more intelligent way to say all of that, and I'm using some words that I probably should not use. And you can research this. I'll say that. You can research that and you'll get a more in-depth answer. But I'll give you briefly what I know just from reading and my memory at this moment, what I remember from that topic. Literally, they will be able to pick up on your energy intuitively, indirectly. There's something about a man who's retaining with that high testosterone level that creates a physical reaction within you and it sends off a signal. We have to understand that people do have subconscious intuitions about everything. That's the way we're created. We are created beings. And as created beings, we are more than just flesh and blood. We have a conscience, we have a spirit, we have another being, a life inside of us. And so people can pick up on that energy from you. And so when you are at that high vibration, whatever you want to use, or good spirit, good energy, chastity or purity. I know some people get mad when I say vibration, but that's the reality. Their vibrations are real. When you have that high vibration, women can feel that. And they can tell just in your voice tone, right? Your voice tone says it. When you have that good energy spirit, it comes out in your voice tone. It comes out in your countenance or your face, right? Your body language. And they will be able to intuitively tell, okay, something different about this guy, right? And you begin to speak and you see how you carry yourself and you are intelligent, you look a certain way, Doesn't mean you have to be a model or exceptionally handsome man to get attention. But if you dress well, because it doesn't have to be the most expensive clothes in the world, but if you dress well, your clothes fit, you're clean, you keep your hair cut or groomed if you have long hair like braids or ponytail or whatever it may be. You have good hygiene, cologne, good shoes, and you're on retention, women will notice you. They'll know, okay, there's something about this person, and that will be something that can be in your benefit if you use it wisely. And if you're not wise, this can be something that can lead to pride and vanity And now you're jumping to bed with a bunch of women. And now you have a lot of problems in your life. And now you're going down a road that will not be good for you. And this is why I have said in the past, and I'll say it again here briefly right now in this video, as men, we have to consistently put our purpose over our pleasure. So as I close this video, let's close with a very obvious question. Why should I, as a man, consider a long semen retention streak? And this doesn't mean you have to go 8 years. Doesn't mean you have to even go a year for that matter. You know, it could be a month. It could be 2 months, 6 months. Why should I do that as a man? I'll give you several answers and reasons why. Let's kind of wrap this up with about 4 or 5 concrete reasons why you should do this. To heal your mind from years of bad images. Secondly, to help you focus on a major goal. Number 3, to help you to reset to your default as a man, which is confidence, self-confidence. Number 4, if you're battling an illness, you should most certainly consider a long streak. And I will say number 5, retention benefits are cumulative and you will build up more power as a man over time in order to get stronger over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So let's break that down as I close and wrap up this topic today. Number 1, you should go on a long streak to help you heal your mind from years of bad images. You know, speaking in code, you know, whatever you've been watching on the internet. Okay, you have to be careful what you see on this platform. That has affected your thinking, your mind, your brain, your dopamine levels. And that is out of whack for some of you guys right now. And that's not a judgment. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not God. Okay, this is not about that. But the reality is, man, if you've been, you know, reckless with your online internet access you have, that affects the way you think. It has. We have to be honest about that as men. And you're not as confident. You're at a low vibration. And so what a long streak would do, it would help you to reset that, right? To regain that confidence. From my study on various topics concerning manhood, I'll say less. As a man, you should be self-confident. That's the way you were created by the Most High God. Confidence. That's basic principle of manhood. And in the context of women, no woman wants an insecure man. No woman wants a weak man. No woman wants a man who doesn't know who he is. You know, women despise that. They despise a weak man. They despise a guy that's shy and not confident. You know, walk into a room with your head down. Don't do that. You got to be confident. You know, and this discipline. Without me going, because I'll go into a rant about that. That'll probably be another video in the future. Okay, I don't want to give everything in one video. But let me say this. Confidence is critical to your relationship with women, to your relationships in terms of business. Other men are not going to respect you. If you kind of offer your disposition, men are going to look at you a certain way. They're not going to respect you. You know, so if we want other men to respect us, which we do as men, we want the respect of other men, then we have to be confident and you know, not an arrogance or being cocky. You know, because a lot of us could be like, I'm cocky. You know, and you overdo it. Some of you guys, you overdo it. You know, you ain't got to be cocky, but you can be confident. You can be, you're comfortable in your own shoes. You're being yourself. And that's one of the compliments I've received from a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys have commented in my previous videos. You know what? I respect you being yourself. Because some people are afraid to do that. You know, a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people that you like and admire, they can't be themselves. You know, they have to be somebody else. And, you know, I think this journey of retention, this helps you, you know, without getting too deep and philosophical, it helps you really get in tune with yourself. Who are you as a person? You know, and being well, being at peace, you know, not, you know, dealing with guilt every day. And, you know, and being indecisive and, you know, just not well in your mind and spirit. And you know, as a person, you know yourself, you know when you're not doing well, you know, when you're not at peace, you don't have direction, you're confused, and there's just this turmoil and war going on in your mind. So retention helps with that. And as I close, these benefits are accumulative, which simply means that you build these disciplines over time, and the longer you do it. So for example, give you kind of an idea here. If you go, let's say within 1 year, right? A course of a year, you get a 15-day streak in. You know, you go a little further, you get 35 days in. You get 70-day streak. You get a whole 4-month streak in, 60 days. You're doing this over the course of a year, you know, because you go 40 days, you relapse. Let's just be real. More likely not to go to the first year without relapse. Let's just be real about that. So you go 40 days, you relapse. Go another 35 days, you relapse. You go 80 days this time, you relapse. You go 4 months. You don't lose those benefits from those other streaks. Those benefits do accumulate over time. And so you're storing up that power and energy over the course of a year. So look at this as a practice. You don't want to just make this just, I got to just be perfect, unbroken retention for 10 years straight. Don't do that to yourself, because what's going to happen is as soon as you fail, you give up, don't try at all. And so make it practical, something you can do over the course of time. Make it a discipline or something like, for example, it's kind of like fasting. You don't fast for a whole year. You fast for a day. You fast for a week. You fast for 40 days. It's something you do special for a reason. And I think sim retention is kind of the same way. It's something you do for a period of time, for a reason, for a goal, for a purpose. And so that's just a few of my thoughts on my 8-year experience with this topic and conversation. I trust it was help to you. For those who have not followed me, go follow me on Instagram at PercyEdmonds37. This is Iron in the Soul, your spiritual general. Take care. Be blessed.